This episode of the Restoration Today podcast is sponsored by our friends at Restoration Brokers of America, the advisory firm exclusively focused on representing restoration company owners in premium exit transactions. If a sale is in your future, preparation drives value. Download the Elite Exit Blueprint at rbasells.com. Again, you can download the Elite Exit Blueprint at rbasells.com. Hey, restorers, welcome to this episode of the Restoration Today podcast. We are recording this in the few days after Winter Storm Fern, swept across the U.S. And we're talking about golf, which seems to me a little wild to be talking about as most of the country is frozen at the moment. Or places like Colorado that don't have enough snow. And so the ski resorts, it's a weird year. It's all a weird year. But anyway, I'm excited to have Pete Lyons, and Lee Patterson with Restoration Golf League with me before Peter's been on the podcast before, and we've talked about Restoration Golf League, but hopefully this is a good refresh for everybody. You guys are up to a lot of chapters. I'll let you guys reveal that. And you have a lot going on, a lot of rounds already set up for 2026. And this is a great way to help leaders in the restoration industry connect with each other in kind of a different, more authentic way, and even in their local markets. So I will stop talking now. So Peter, I'm going to toss it to you to kind of introduce yourself and share a little bit about your background in the industry, because it's not all golf.
We're trying to make it all golf. That is
that's a good
the
goal.
idea. The ideal will be traveling in an RV, going around different places around the country, playing in different Restoration Golf League events. Peter Lyons, founder of the Restoration Golf League, also owner of ResCon Environmental, and that's kind of how we're tied to the industry. We do environmental consulting here in California, Nevada, and Arizona. We had a quick stint in Florida, and still have some opportunity there. On top of that, also part owner of a brewery here in Southern California, which all kind of tied, real quick history in that. Is it tied to COVID? What can we do to stay relevant? And that is kind of why in Southern California, all we could do was golf. There was no going to lunch. There was no going to, even offices were completely shut down. Nobody wanted anybody in and out of there. So it was, what do we do at that point in time to stay in front of our clients, our vendors, pretty much anybody that wanted to stay in connection. And so that's really how it came about, was let's continue to do what we are allowed to do, which is golf, and then stay connected with those industry folks there. So that's really the quick and easy version of it. We'll get more into the details of what we've done. I mean, obviously, we've been on the podcast before when we first started. Our first event was in 2021 in February. So now we're 5 years removed from that, which is kind of crazy to even think about, that a little marketing idea turned into what it is now. And it's exciting. 26 is going to be exciting. We'll get into more of those details, obviously, with Lee coming on board there. That's the short and skinny of that. I'll let Lee introduce himself to the group.
Perfect. I also want to know about your shirt, Lee. So you have to talk about your shirt at some point.
Oh,
is it one of the dancing dogs?
Partners? Yeah, this is what did I call the dog? I think I just call it Spot, but it's a drone dog that can go around and do security for your job sites if you need. But then also the company does, actual drone surveillance too. So yeah, Drone Strategic Partners. They're one of the sponsors for the Golf League. Jason Seward, reach out to him if you have any questions about it. But yeah, when I saw him wearing this shirt, I was like, I need one of those shirts too. But myself, yes, commissioner of the Restoration Golf League here. Been a software trainer in this space for quite some time. Also worked in the hybrid franchise side of things in the industry with Core Group. Had a great time there. But when Pete threw this idea out for me to step into this role, it was really, I think, kind of a perfect pairing of what I would like to do, with my time is, obviously still try to work in an opportunity of service to help others. But then also, hey, I played a lot of golf when I was younger. So great opportunity to just combine the relationships that I've made in this industry and then really create a space for, contractors to go out there and try to win work in something that
Mhm.
we've always done. Like most people go out and try to play golf, whether it's, a casual round or if they want to use it professionally, but really implement that into the industry itself. Because as we look at the space today, we have some great organizations out there that are offering camaraderie for people or for contractors in the space, but we're relying on specific calendars. So how can we get more opportunities out there instead of waiting on major trade shows to be offering these, get together times? So I think with the golf league, when I stepped into this before, there was some areas had really good consistency and some areas just didn't. And so now what
Mhm.
we're implementing across 18 chapters here is a set calendar to where we're going to play 6 rounds in each of the 18 chapters. So we're going to have plenty of golf for everybody to go out there to network. We found that if you're a company that's trying to get out there and meet your local network, this is a great space to just meet up with some people that also have a shared hobby. But we've also seen this used pretty wisely as a platform for businesses to try to entertain their prospects.
Mhm.
So, if you're trying to chase down some property management companies or some adjusters out there and you really want to build some rapport, well, just invite them out to play golf, because at that point, you're going to have them in a golf cart for, probably 4.5, 5 hours. Maybe you got some pre-round time, maybe you got some post-round time. And in those times, like, you can't just chat always about golf. You are diving into some personal conversations. You're chatting about your kids, your family, you're chatting about some traveling that you like to do. You're chatting about, your frustrations with work. How can you try to get some solutions going? So it's a great opportunity to just really get to know people instead of just trying to pop into their office. Hey, is so and so available? Oh no, they're not. Okay, well, I bought some bougie popcorn for everybody in the office so you guys can share. Here's my business card. Hopefully, you call me back. So
Mhm.
just trying to create the opportunity for contractors in the space to take advantage of it, to go out there, have some fun in an outside environment, and just go play golf and network.
Do either of you have a favorite story of like, hey, somebody from this show, you don't have to be that's you don't have to name anybody, but like a success story of, hey, I invited so and so out to this round and that developed into like maybe a really good relationship that developed maybe into a contract with, I don't know, a university or whatever, but kind of a business end result to the Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, this is actually it's a really good one, because Element
Mhm.
Environmental, they're out of Derek Hall and his group. They don't do work in California. So we've done some collaboration with some of the fire work that has come about from the Palisades and the Eaton fire. But one of the biggest stories with it was I had a contact here in Southern California that had opened up a branch in Montana. They called me and says, "Do you have anybody that can do a large scale smoke analysis project in Big Sky?" And I'm like, "I don't have anybody, and I don't know. We're not even in that space." I said, "But I do know somebody that I can give you contact with." So I called Derek and his team. They got in contact about eight. I just kind of let it go. So
Yeah.
Derek and his group was kind of helping us get the Las Vegas chapter going within the golf league. So I had met them a handful of times up there. So fast forward when we're talking about the Eaton fires, he goes, "I owe you from that job you sent me." And I said, "What do you mean you owe me?" I said, "You don't owe me anything. I wasn't going to be, it was literally a referral to a really good client of mine." He's like, "That job turned out to be almost a $300,000 consulting project." He's like, "So," I said, "Okay, maybe you can take me to dinner when we see each other."
Yeah.
So stuff like that has come about from that. Now, for us personally within ResCon, this network has spanned from coast to coast. And so I get calls a lot of times from people, especially like with what we're going to see here in the next couple
Mhm.
weeks with Fern, is we're going to have people in California wanting to travel to other parts of the country. Well, within the golf league, then it's asking, is there somebody in Atlanta that I can reach out to? Is there someone in Dallas I can reach out to? And those are the networks that we're creating to be able to refer across the country or even meet. I mean, we had Vegas this last weekend, and we had individuals from San Diego, pretty much all through California. We had some individuals from Arizona, some from Nevada, some from Florida that came out. So we had that, and that those then get together. And then later on, when stuff like this happens across the country, we can obviously reach out to make those connections.
Lee, any stories you want to share before I lob a next question to you?
No, honestly, I think just to kind of follow up on what Pete said there are often times where people are sharing work. There's projects that maybe people are not interested in, or projects that they just they don't have the manpower or the bandwidth to handle right there. So they do have the opportunity to flip it to other people in their peer network. So yeah, I've heard stories all over just of that happening. So that's definitely a key point of what we're trying to put together here is create the opportunity space for if you need to establish your bench with some other quality contractors that you trust to be able to carry your brand, your reputation over to that project. Well, then, yeah, you got to get out and mix and mingle. So if you're not meeting people at a trade show, which is everybody from across the country, it's going to be kind of hard to find everybody if you're in San Diego specifically to be able to find that rapport opportunity. So yeah, we're just trying to put everybody together in one pot for the mix and mingle opportunity.
Yeah, and one other thing that has come about, at least through me, and Lee will probably start getting these phone calls, is some of these franchise groups also looking for people to expand into these networks of, do you know someone that you've talked to that is interested in opening up their own restoration company, contents company, you name it, we're getting those phone calls, and making those introductions because of what we're seeing out there and the people that we're meeting in those areas. So it's been what never would have anticipated some of the stuff that has come about from it. But golf is a powerful sport. I mean, it's a powerful activity. You hear it all the time. How much business gets done on the golf course? Hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts get done on the golf course. I mean, it's relationships are expanded on the golf course. Why not, do it again? The whole idea was, why not do this in the restoration space?
And we've had major brands just in the industry itself participating with the PGA Tour for over a decade. Pro's been a big sponsor. United Rentals, the Phoenix Waste Management Open is about to happen here next weekend in Arizona. And every time I go to the golf course, it's like I see the units pods out there. I see the Sunbelt Rentals. I see United Rentals. I see all the brands that we know. So people are involved in it. They understand the publicity that it can bring. And then I think also, yeah, it's the casual environment as opposed to like everybody's wearing button up, polos and the button downs, not the polos, because we are polos out there.
I think golf course, you're probably wearing a polo, but yeah.
Yeah, you're not wearing slacks and nice shoes out there. You're out there in shorts and a polo, and you're trying to have fun and just relax.
Yes. Okay, so Lee, to your point of so as the commissioner, you guys are up to 18 chapters. So first, what are some markets that you have your eye on where there isn't a chapter yet, but you'd love to get one formed? And two, what does it take if there's a contractor maybe listening to it that wants to get involved? What does it take to help form a chapter?
Yeah, no, just had a conversation yesterday. Somebody in Indianapolis wants a chapter. I think it's a good area. What we're really looking for is a metro or, a state that has a decent amount of contractors. I think Indianapolis is definitely a strong one. Know some good brands in the area there. We just actually added Minneapolis. And so just knowing, longtime contractor, Tom Laska, ICC, it was like, hey, yeah, this is kind of a no-brainer. I've been Tom for a long time. I think this is a great market. So yeah, we're looking for an area that definitely has a strong base of contractors in the area, has decent seasonal weather. We prefer to have everybody actually out on a golf course, but we are going to launch some of the colder states in the indoor simulators to start some of these rounds. And then probably our December rounds, we're going to plug the cold states back into it. I do think the simulator will actually bring a lot of great benefit because everybody will then just be into one pool. You got the bar and restaurant opportunity right behind you there. So we've rented out 2 bays to 4 bays for 4 hours. So 6 people in a bay can have the opportunity to all mix and mingle. And to me, that's in the transition of, it's like the modern day bowling. You hit your shot and then you can go chat with people, wait for your turn, then you come back, hit your shot, and then you go. So yeah, with this, I think when it comes to expansion, we are going to close down the expansion here for 2027, since we really just got everything rolling. The schedule's out now. 2026. For 2027, what I have my eye on is definitely the Nashville market. I think it's an area that's very popular. They do have, good seasonal golf opportunities. I think St. Louis would be another good market, another strong, area for restoration contractors, good work happening there. And then I think, based upon conversations with my friend Nelson, we might be jumping up to Toronto. His docu-sketch, Nelson, I think that's just a really, he's a really good golfer. We'd like to give Canada the opportunity to jump into this. And I think that could then open up the opportunity for us to have some USA Canada, our own little Ryder Cup opportunity here. So I think for 2027, initially, we'll do Indy, we'll do Nashville, St. Louis, if we can get some people asking for it, and then probably Toronto to get up into Canada.
So the people who are helping start these local chapters, how much are they involved in the planning of the rounds, the planning of like the tee time events, the simulator events, those kind of things? Like, is it a lot on you? Is it them doing it? Is it a mix? What does that look like?
I'd say majority is on us, but I will say we do reach out to individuals in these areas, because since I don't live in Dallas, I don't know all the golf courses. I can do an internet scrape and just pick one. But if there's a preference, well, then I'll definitely say, okay, give me 1 or 2 courses and let's see what we can do. So we have individuals that we classify as chapter board advisory members, and then we also have our local ambassadors. The ambassadors are our personality extension. These are people that are typically in like a sales and marketing role. I've noticed it's been heavy on like the content and environmental side of things. It's individuals that are trying to win work from restorers. And that's what we've seen at the baseline. It can be anybody, honestly. But if your business benefits from, work that restoration contractors are winning, well, then this is definitely an opportunity, because you're going around, you're doing your drops, you're doing your lunch and learns and all these other opportunities, but now you have another talking point. So you can go in and you can initially say, hey, this is what I do. Do you guys need any content services? And they may already have had that pitch 2 or 3 times a week. But if you go in and you say, hey, we're the ambassadors for Restoration Golf League. Do you enjoy playing golf? Would you like to come out with us? Oh, by the way, we do environmental consulting. We do contents work. That's a great opportunity then for people to have a good icebreaker. And then the ambassador themselves is really just the personality at the golf course, that morning. So it's not an overwhelming workload that they need to do. We're going to handle all the scheduling. We're going to handle all the collections of the funds. They don't have to worry about any financials. But really, we just ask them to assist with the check-in process. And then after everybody tees off, just drive around, take some photos, hand out some snacks if you want to, and just keep the environment lively, keep it fun. So, we noticed that chapter advisory members, they are the ones that are consistently playing. They are the ones that are, nudging their friends like, hey, come on, we got this round. So they're very, I don't want to say aggressive, but definitely, they're influential to get everybody going out there and playing. So we really appreciate and we're very grateful for their time that they're investing in us. And, we recognize that they are the ones that are clamoring for more. But I think with the tour that's happening here, I think we implement some consistency. We've got good prize opportunities for everybody. Each of the rounds, we'll do the long drive, closest to the pin opportunities. For those that do place first, second, and third in our 4 qualifying rounds next year, you will get a custom hat from the Restoration Golf League. It's going to be a specific qualifier hat. Only X amount of people in the space are going to be able to have their opportunity. So it's not like you can go and buy this from the Restoration Golf League. So if you do go to a trade show, you put that on, people are going to recognize like, hey, you're a bit of a golfer. And then the ambassadors, we're going to set them up with some gear too. So yeah, we've got some fun things in mind just to get everybody a little bit more involved, to have a little bit more of the personal attachment with that, specific prize that you have the opportunity to win. And then I was super stoked for the championship that we had this year. Our actual trophies were Den Caddies. We made a video about it. That's a very unique piece of gear in the golf industry. So thanks to, once again, to SIF Pay for making that happen for us. They these bags are just a talking point. You walk into somebody's office, like, hey, you got first place, like, and you got this big bag as opposed to just a generic trophy or like an acrylic trophy. It's like, yeah, that's fun things for us to be, spreading word about and talking about.
I love
One
it.
thing that Lee mentioned about the ambassadors and if anybody's listening to this and is not a golfer and they're going to tune this out, don't. And I say this only because there's twofold. The non-golfer is more than welcome to come out and help be an ambassador. It gives them another space to come and see people and meet people and get them out of their comfort zone, possibly. Maybe they end up picking up a set of clubs and learning how to play golf, which I highly recommend to anybody in business. That should be something that we all do because again, a lot of stuff gets done on the golf course. But there's opportunities to obviously market this, going into offices, talking about something other than, again, content, environmental consulting, abatement services. There's more to it. Now I'm helping you try to grow your business, not just get business from you. And so that's one thing. And two, again, that day of requirements or activities from check-in, helping people know where's the bathroom? Where's the bar? Is there a cart person out here today? Where's the driving range? That's the basic check-in piece. Then there's the after round, come in, collect the cards, again, meet and mingle, keep people engaged as they're coming into the bar and the restaurant after. So they're kind of be the host or the hostess with the mostest, like being somebody there to kind of engage that. Um, and then photos. The only way this thing gets promoted is social media and getting video interviews, pictures of the players so that we as a group can promote what we're doing because this is the FOMO world. Who's out there? What? Oh my God, that looked like it was a great day. They had, happy hour after the round. So there's a lot of opportunity that's not just for the golfer. And then you're also going to have the people on this call right now go, do I have to be a good golfer? Absolutely not. Absolutely. It is that we have, I would say our average is that 90s golfer across the leagues. That's the guys that maybe get out once, the people that get out maybe once a month and aren't taking it all that serious. But then we have gentlemen in Atlanta. We have a good contingent of those ones that are ultra serious, but they're shooting in the negatives out there. And then we have, so we have a range of it, but again, don't let it sound, oh, it's the Restoration Golf League, I got to be a professional. Absolutely not. You don't even,
even in the championship, out of 44 people, only 6 shot in the 70s. So the rest of the scores were way up there. And nobody actually shot under for this. Ryan Whitney is our champion. He shot perfect par 72. And that's just the thought, is that everybody's going to come out here, and obviously that event itself, you are playing for the crown, but that was, like Pete was saying earlier, the great opportunity to network and build out your bench across the nation there. So we had people, from Florida, from Denver, from Phoenix out here, Las Vegas, all across California. And so now you have the opportunity, if any of those shared work calls come through, like Pete with Montana, it's like, no, I don't really work in Montana, but I know somebody that might be able to help you. Okay, continue that, extend your brand a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you double down on you don't have to be a great golfer. Because Leah, I remember when you reached out to me about an event in Michigan, you're like, do you golf? And I'm like, what?
Yeah, you can be bad at golf but still win work. Like that's
fine. Do I golf? I don't know. Anyway, do I win at Top Golf sometimes? Absolutely, but that is not the same. And that's like, it's not the same. It's completely different. But
I think that's the thought is, with this, yes, our qualifiers are straight up golf, and not a lot of people enjoy going out there and posting their scores. But we do have a double par max rule. We play everything as a lateral hazard. So if you hit out of bounds, you just drop from there. Like, we really focus on pace of play as well, and try to, agree with the golf course on getting everybody through as quick as we can. But we will be having 2 scrambles in May, which we're about to start scheduling. We'll have that start to be announced probably in the middle of February, all those rounds. We're going to have a 2-man scramble in each of the chapters. So that's going to be your local bragging rights. Like if you really want to have that king of the town, you need to start practicing now. And I think people do enjoy the scramble opportunity because, yes, you can be okay at golf, but if you pair yourself with a few people, then you have an opportunity to, have a subpar round and then, have something fun to chat about. And in October, we are going to be establishing a 4-man scramble, but this is going to be aimed at charity. So the other 5 events, you will not see tents on each of the holes. So if you walk up to the tee box, there's nobody there trying to make a pitch to you. The charity side of things, we will permit that because we want to be able to write, a good check for each of these chapters to a local charity option. So we will see a little bit of the what everybody's used to seeing on social media with all these big tournaments. The Orlando Claims Association and whatnot obviously puts on a big one. You get the Blue Goose down in Texas, they put on big ones. So I think the Service Master one down there in Southern California is always a big one, big turnout. So yeah, everybody's used to the 4-man scramble, but this league is more for networking. It's not partying out there. It's not shouts on all the holes, spin the wheel and see what fireball shot you get. We want it to be a little bit more business focused. So I'm not saying you can't have your beverages out there, but we are saying, let's make it a little bit more professional.
Yeah. I like that. I grew up golfing and there wasn't any drinking or anything. That's how my parents were, and that's how we grew up. And then I got married, and my husband's family is a little bit more like party through golfing, and it's like, whoa, that's so. Anyway,
and that's how
fine.
I grew up as golfing with my grandparents, and my grandfather was retired Navy in San Diego, so it was etiquette. We learned the ins and outs of. It's like bowling. We bowled. It was bowling and golfing with my grandparents. I will never get up on the bowling alley lane when the guy next to you is already set, ready to go. Well, that's just common etiquette within certain, the bowling world and the golf world. Okay, now we've gotten with Live, PGA, and obviously you're looking at a loud golf shirt. Yeah, I was surprised, Lee, but I appreciate I appreciate the t-shirt because we're promoting one of our sponsors with the shirts. So, but now it's kind of geared towards, okay, we have music. We're not, we're in a battle right now between the old school golf etiquette world and how do we make this fun and keep 4.5, 5 hours worth of time entertaining. And so and making it your own. You look at the PGA, love the PGA. There's been some exciting, tournaments lately, but it's the same. You can't wear your hat backwards. You're tucked in. It's always prim and proper. Well, that's no longer, I won't say no longer the golf world. It's evolving into something more fun. So,
which gets more people involved. So,
and that is the target for us is when we talked about playing your own ball, keeping your own score. We also allow, like, if you're bringing out a client and that person is not a golfer, I always tell the groups, you guys do what you want within your own group. There's going to be a handful of people it's more than a handful. The majority of us are going to keep our own score, and play our own ball. Now, if I bring a client and he's like, I'm not really that good. Okay, if you like your tee shot, hit the next shot. If you don't, pick it up and move it up to the spot with us. Because if you're not really going to keep your own score, I want you to have a good time and not be frustrated and not come back out because we want you to get better at the game of golf. We want you to want to keep coming out. We want you to promote this within the industry. And so we have flexibility in that piece of it. It's not, no, this is the rule. We're here to have fun and network and get good at golf. So that's just to kind of touch on again. So when people hear this go, oh man, I'll wait till I get better before I sign up for an event. No. Sign up and come out and play.
Yeah.
We don't bite. It's no, there's no, and Mashara always said, there's no hidden agenda for this. There's no timeshare presentation after. We're not going to sell you. Like we're not trying to, convince you into anything other than build relationships on the golf course.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, bring us home. I want to ask both of you what the number one thing is that you're looking forward to this season, or your favorite memory so far from a golf league and your involvement. So either a favorite memory or what you're looking forward to the most, or maybe you have an answer to both. But Leo, I'll kick that to you first.
What I'm looking forward to, honestly, is the charity round. I know it sounds, a little backwards from playing straight up golf, but I'm excited for, 18 chapters to be able to cut some checks to local charities and, make an impact in their areas. Favorite memory, Pete always loves it when I do this. Looking forward to winning another one, but
I like it.
yeah,
Can the commissioner win? Is that allowed? Can the commissioner win?
It's not supposed to, but it's
everybody will still know the score. And I may have to drop myself out of the race, but yeah,
Okay.
we'll still know.
That's fair. All right, Peter, what about you?
I'm excited to see what we have coming in 26, to go from an idea of just network and marketing to now we have a commissioner that's in charge of the entire league, to get these people involved. And just the expansion that we've seen this year, 18 different chapters, 6 different, and to see what companies want to be involved in this. It's a movement that's happening across the country that we're doing, and people are seeing it. Now, what we really need this year is that corporate involvement. We really need, because we're trying to grow this at a grassroots level. Unfortunately, that only can go so far. So now I think people are starting to see this and go, okay, 18 rounds, if there's 50 golfers, how many people are we touching across the country? And that's just who's golfing. That's not talking about who are we touching. I mean, each chapter probably will have a 300 to 400 name mailing list, email list that's getting all of this communication, then all the social media stuff. So I'm really excited to see where this 26 will be that pivotal year for what does 27 look like in the number of chapters. Are we going international? Are we doing, a mega trade show golf tournament at the end of the year, where now we have the golf brands coming in with the restoration brands, and now it's a commingled event. Like, where this could go and where we're positioning it is exciting to really see. And just for me, what I love the most of it has been the connections. I'm in sales. I love it. But to say now I could go out, I could call friends in New England and travel out there and golf and just golf with them. I could go to Chicago. I could make travel plans based on the connections we've made through this. It's phenomenal that to see where it's come from since 21.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. For people who are listening, restorationgolfleague.com is where you can find out more. We also have some of the schedule on the CNR events calendar, and we'll be adding more as the rounds pop up. So you can look there as well. But restorationgolfleague.com is the best place to check it out. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I hope to maybe pop in for a round maybe at some point. I don't know.
You're in a simulator for March, so it's not going to be cold that time. You'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And congrats on the success that you found with the golf league. I love that it's kind of an outside the box thing in the industry, but people love it and it's growing. So congrats on the success there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
For more Restoration Today and the latest news, visit our website, cnrmagazine.com, and find the latest episodes of the Restoration Today podcast on your favorite podcasting platform.